your therapist probably costs $150 an hour. But this place, it's free. And honestly, it's way better at fixing your brain. But it wasn't until I started studying the human-nature connection professionally that I realized I've actually been taking the most potent and natural antidepressant there is on the planet. Look, I've been spending some serious time outdoors ever since I was a kid, hiking, camping, and just being out in the wild. It's not some hobby I picked up just for content. It's who I am. It's probably who you are too, or who you want to be, or who you can be. Well, here's what blows my mind. We have mountains of research proving that nature exposure is just as effective as pharmaceuticals for treating depression and anxiety. But somehow the average person thinks the answer to mental health is prescriptions, maybe less sunlight, and even some like therapy apps if they're lucky. Meanwhile, I've heard about city people paying $200 an hour to talk about their problems in a windowless room when they can get better results from a $5 day pass to their local park. The stats are brutal. Depression rate has tripled in the last decade. Anxiety disorders are through the roof. And we're more disconnected from our natural environments than any humans have ever been in history. Ever. Coincidence? Nah, I no longer believe in coincidences. Alright, let me break down what's actually going on in your brain when you get outside. And how I've accidentally been biohacking my own mental health for years. Come on, let's go. Every time you step into a natural environment, you're triggering what researchers call the relaxation response. Your parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, your cortisol drops, and your brain starts producing more GABA. And that's your natural chill out chemical. But here's the part that even surprised me when I dug into the research. Trees are physically releasing airborne pharmaceuticals called Phytoncides. When you breathe forest air, you're getting a dose of natural compounds that boost immune function and reduce inflammation in your brain. So all of those times that I thought I was just going for a hike, the trees have been drugging me the entire time, and I'm not even mad about it. The thing is, I never really thought about why being outdoors made me feel better. It just did. Have a bad day? Go hiking. Stressed about work? Find yourself a creek and sit beside it for an hour. Couldn't sleep? Fall asleep underneath the stars and wake up to the sun. I just assumed everybody knew this stuff. And then I moved to a big city and watched my classmates lose their minds during finals week. And they would start popping Adderalls like it was Tic Tacs. Meanwhile, I'd disappear to the nearest patch of woods for 45 minutes and come back to tackle statistical analysis like a wizard. I wasn't just managing stress, I was preventing it. There's a huge difference. See, most people treat mental health like damage control, and they wait until they're drowning until they ask for help. When you're constantly spending time in nature, you're building your resilience before you even need it. You're keeping your nervous system calibrated to what normal actually feels like. It took me years to realize what I thought was just my personality. Being relatively calm, sleeping well, not getting worked up about minor stuff. It wasn't my personality at all. It was environmental. I was living in near constant contact of what humans evolved within for over 400,000 years. My nervous system wasn't constantly fighting the environment. It was being supported by it. Also, this really stuck with me. I started tracking my mood and stress levels when I couldn't get outside as much. Maybe bad weather weeks, heavy work deadlines, overtime, whatever the excuse. And the correlation was undeniable. Less nature time meant more anxiety, worse sleep, and a shorter fuse with people. Turns out I'm not just being overly zen, I'm being naturally outdoorsy, and you can too. So I started digging into the research to find out more about what I had been experiencing, and the data is absolutely wild. Shinrin yoku, or the Japanese term for forest bathing, has been clinically proven to reduce cortisol by 50% in just 20 minutes. 20 minutes? That's faster than it takes for most medicines to kick in. Nature exposure increases natural killer cells, the cells in your immune system, for up to 30 days from a single hiking trip. Your body beefs up better defenses by just being among the trees. And one of my personal favorite studies shows that people who live within 1 mile of a green space have measurably lower rates of anxiety and depression. The trees aren't just pretty to look at. They're running interference on all of your mental health stressors. This isn't just feel-good, hippie nonsense. This is peer-reviewed and replicated science. Links in the description below. Nature is medicine, and most people are living in a medicinal desert. Now, I know what you're thinking. Easy for you to say when you live this lifestyle. You moved away from the city, and you're right. I have my advantages, but I also have perspective on what works and what doesn't. First truth, consistency beats intensity. An hour in the woods once a week is better than nothing, but 20 minutes outside every day will change your life. Your nervous system needs regular contact, not inconsistent shock therapy. Second truth, it doesn't have to be wilderness. Second truth, it doesn't have to be wilderness. You're funny. I've seen people get massive benefits from local urban parks or botanical gardens. Even their backyard if there are trees. The key is unplugged time in green space. Third, and this is important, this isn't about just being a mountain man overnight. It's about remembering that you're an animal that evolved in natural environments. Your brain is hardwired to find natural restoration out here. You don't need to start bow hunting or sleeping underneath tarps, though I highly recommend both. Just stop treating nature as just scenery and start seeing it more like medicine or like your church. Here's what I think is happening. We've created a world that's okay at keeping us alive, but it's terrible at keeping us sane. And everybody keeps trying to solve that problem with artificial solutions. But mental health isn't just about what's happening in your head, it's about what's happening around it. Put it in a man-made box with artificial light and it's gonna malfunction. Put it in an environment that it recognizes and understands, and it remembers how to work properly. Ideas, creativity, solutions, they all reveal themselves to you. Every minute that you spend outside, you're participating in the moment that made you possible. This isn't alternative medicine. This is the OG medicine. So here's my challenge for you, and I'm dead serious about this. For the next week, spend at least 15 minutes outside every day. No phone, no distractions, just whatever natural space you can find. Don't expect to become a different person overnight, just to become more like yourself. The version of you that's not constantly fighting your environment. And if you're already somebody who spends a lot of time outdoors, then maybe pay attention to the amount of time that you spend outdoors in connection with your mental state. You might be surprised what you notice and realize that you don't have to save up all your nature retreat time just for hunting season. Oh, turkey tails. Instead, appreciate this connection to the land year-round. Please drop a comment below and let me know how it goes, because honestly, I'm curious to see how many people have been walking past this solution for a long time. But if this made sense to you, please share it with somebody who's been trying to think their way out of feeling terrible or lost. I really wish that I would have kidnapped some people out of their city stresses and taken them on a nature excursion, and maybe they just wouldn't have ended their lives. And if you want more content that lies between the intersection of biology and outdoor living, then you know where to find me. Probably somewhere outside without cell service. I will be making more videos about the different scientific intersections of the human-nature connection, as well as conscious living and how to make a difference in this world when it seems like it's kind of beat off. As well as how to be a conscious steward of our natural world. Good buddy. But here's the part that surprised that